commentary on the Netflix documentary of Escaping Twin Flames, the toxic culture of cults, psychopathy, as well as spiritual abuse. The situation of cults, they're always facilitated by a very charismatic leader, and will always manipulate situations for what they want the situation to be like because of the ideologies that they have. It's almost like brainwashing. Control access to information and resources within the community. They don't want anything outside because they don't want anything to dissuade from the goal that they're trying to achieve. Give me all your money. Hi, Blossoming Soul. If you are already a member of Blossoming Soul's community here on my YouTube channel, welcome back. Hello. If you're new here, my name is Amber Troy-Sella. I am a licensed professional clinical counselor in the state of California for now, as well as a spiritual medium. And if you have looked on my channel, you see that I talk about twin flame journey heavy because I am a divided feminine in union. If you like that type of content, then this is going to be right up your alley as well. This one's going to be different though, because I'm going to be doing commentary on the Netflix documentary of Escaping Twin Flames. But it's going to be different because I'm going to utilize my expertise with psychology, as well as my expertise in spirituality, to discuss both of these things. So hopefully if you find yourself searching for like twin flame content, that you'll be able to determine and discern what's true from actual hurtful content, okay? And I'm glad beforehand, before I recorded this video, I was gonna insert clips from Netflix, but then I realized it was copyright issue. So I don't have any clips. I don't even want to like show a picture of those two because I don't want any strikes on my channel. So we're good? Okay. Again, this video is going to be talking about the toxic culture of cults, psychopathy, as well as spiritual abuse. So let's get into it. The situation of cults, okay, they're always facilitated by a very charismatic leader. And the leader will always have some type of psychopathy attributes to them, and we'll get into what that means a little bit later into the video. But first off, they're always going to be charismatic, charming, you feel comfortable around them, they're going to feel like a great person. But they often and will always manipulate situations for what they want the situation to be like, okay, overall. You're just a means for them, all right, for cult leaders. They will often isolate members, take them away from their families, people they know, because they want to give them ideologies that the group will believe in, things that they say, right? And they want everyone to believe in them, and they're not going to be contested. You do not contest a cult leader. And that's so psychologically dangerous. It's so psychologically dangerous. And within that, they create a hierarchy, right? So they're up here and they'll designate different people who need this, and that. If you've watched the documentary of Escaping Twin Flames, you'll see that Jeff and Shalea are up on top, and then they have other people beneath them doing different things, especially like the twin flame coaches, and then like the moderators of different websites and whatnot. Like they don't work on anything. They're just the face. They give the commands, and that's what it is, right? And I feel like that's so powerful. And the first actual episode, this is the clip that I was going to share here. There was a clip of a mother who lost her daughter to the cult, right? And she was talking about how Jeff is a narcissist, and that this is actually a cult, and it's the first thing that you see. It's the first frame that you see of the documentary, and I'm like, whoa, okay, yeah, well, let's get into this a little bit more, right? Cults are so dangerous because of the ideologies that they have of themselves, of the members itself, right? It's almost like brainwashing. It is brainwashing. Some of the manipulation tactics that these cult leaders will use, okay, to have people come in and keep them is, one is love bombing, right? Love bombing is just like loving on you, saying you're so special, you're extraordinary, you're this, you're that, so that they can pull you in, right? Thought control, controlling the narrative of what's being said so that everyone can assimilate as one. Fear mongering, instilling fear in order to obtain control. I'm sure you could think of other organizations that do that. I won't get into that wormhole, but fear-mongering is an easy manipulation tactic to assert and obtain control, right? And then also there's guilt and shame. Shame that by not believing their ideologies, guilt trip you into saying like, oh, well, if you don't believe this, then you're not, looking for your true twin flame. Like you can't do that, right? And it's so interesting because the next one is the cognitive dissonance, where like common sense, like that it doesn't sound right, but you're so deep in it, you just accept it. So there's this disconnect cognitively from what you know to be true from lies and disinformation. And that's what makes it the psychological harm the cults, right? What Jeff and Shalia have done and continuously continue to do. I will say, like, one part of the documentary, there's a lot of parts to choose from, but where the woman was encouraged to continuously reach out to her twin flame, despite the fact that this person put a restraining order on her. The dissonance, right? The cognitive dissonance. Like, anyone in their right mind would understand, okay, this person has put a restraining order against me. They don't want anything to do with me. They don't want me around. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want me in their lives. But to tell this woman that it doesn't matter, that she has to pursue her twin flame by all means necessary, is terrible, right? And the impact psychologically that cult members will experience is, identity disruption. Number one, the person that you were prior to coming into this environment is no longer. You take on a new identity, okay? And this isn't so pertinent to the fact of telling people that they're the wrong gender. The gender identification aspects of the twin flame universe is wild. You're gonna tell someone that identifies as a woman that actually, no, they're not a woman. They're male, okay? And their twin flame is actually another woman. What? That is so harmful. That's so harmful. But as that community, you learn to trust in what's being told to you, right? You have no sense of self-control and autonomy. Dependency. Yes, they need to control access to information and resources within the community. They don't want anything outside because they don't want anything to dissuade from the goal that they're trying to achieve, right? Trauma bonding. All these people coming together with like stories, talking amongst themselves. Oftentimes, we find ourselves in trauma bonds with other people that have maybe similar trauma to ours. And we bond with them and we think that it's love and it's not love. And that can be even more hurtful in the long run. Instead of focusing on healing, they're stuck in that trauma together. Cognitive and emotional manipulation is another tactic, and impact on cult members, okay? Pretty much self-explanatory for what I've been talking about, as well as the psychological impact on those that choose to leave the cult, the community. And the recovery process, which I will, hopefully that didn't mess up so bad in your ear, I apologize. But at the end, I will provide resources for if you find yourself in a cult, if this is resonating with you, and you want to find a way out, I'm gonna give you some resources because I would be remiss not to. Okay? All right, so spiritual abuse. Let's get into that, okay? So I'm reading notes, so if I happen to look down, it's because I want to make sure I get all the information correct, okay? But spiritual abuse refers to the misuse of spiritual or religious beliefs to practice manipulation, control, or harm of individuals. I had said something to someone recently about spiritual abuse, and they're like, I've never heard of that. I'm like, you haven't? Oh, let me enlighten you. Okay, so first thing is the misrepresentation of scriptures, which we see that happening all the time. People will pull from the Holy Bible and discern what the scripture is supposed to say for their own livelihood, for their own interpretation of it. So for their own personal gains, right? And so they say, oh, well, it says this in the Bible, or it says this in the Quran, or it says this in, a Vedic, or, whatever holy text, whatever scripture, okay? You want to abide by that because it's like, oh, well, it's coming out of this, and that. If you grew up with a religious background, or for sure, most cults, if not like 99.9%, are religious based. So if you have that frame of mindset, that's what you believe in, then you're not going to want to go against that, right? Authoritarianism. Okay, spiritual abusers often assert themselves as authority on spiritual matters, demanding that you do not question what they say, do not challenge what they say, because their word is law. Jeff and Shalia's word is law. And then part of the abuse is shaming and guilt tripping. Again, abusers may use religious teachings to shame or guilt trip individuals into compliance. They may condemn or ostracize those who question their authority or fail to meet their expectations, invoking fear of divine punishment or social rejection. Yeah, right? Yeah. Again, isolation, dependency, exploitation. Abusers will use financial means, right, in the name of God or name of the higher power, the divinity, right? Give me all your money. Yeah. There was a video of Jeff actually talking about how, like, their first year they made like $25,000, and the next year they doubled that, and the next year they tripled that, and this year, the year that whatever they were, he made that video for his community, he's like, oh, we're going to do 3 times that. Well, where do you think that money is coming from? That money is coming from their coaching programs and all types of things, right? It's interesting that the people that are actually working for them were not even getting paid. So they're doing all of this. And I'm like, how are they paying their bills? How is that working? Because I don't believe they're living in the same house like other cults, but they weren't getting paid. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Comment down below and let me know, okay? Fear control, spiritual bypassing. Yes, this is huge, 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 huge in the spiritual community, not just with the twin flame universe, Jeff and Shalia. I'm talking about in the spiritual community, using spirituality to just kind of bypass any of like social concerns or political concerns or any like 3D concerns, okay? I'm very woo-woo, but I'm also very human, all right? I have to take personal responsibility for my choices and decisions, right? They're synonymous with each other, but spiritual bypassing is just, because of God, I don't have to do this. Or, I had a download that told me this. There was one clip where Shalia had said that she had a download from God that told her that Jeff was actually Jesus Christ in this form. Yeah. No personal responsibility for that statement. Which leads me to psychopathy of narcissism. So the definition of psychopathy is to relate to personality disorders, okay? So we have antisocial, borderline, narcissism, obsessive compulsive disorder, psychopaths, right? Jeff is definitely a narcissist. Definitely. He's very grandiose thought of self, his self-importance. He said that he is he's not even the second coming of Christ. He is Christ. Very grandiose, and see, using the biblical scriptures to back that claim up, right? So people that are already immersed in him and the community, they're going to accept that as truth, right? Even though it's not truth. Their need of admiration and the total disregard and empathy of anyone else. Okay, that's pretty pertinent for personality disorders, especially narcissistic people, because they only care about themselves and their needs. That's it. And however they can get there, you're a means to an end. That's all that it is. Okay, so as soon as I saw that documentary, I was like, he is a bona fide narcissist. Bona fide. It's wild. It's wild. And I mean, some other traits, personality traits that come into cult leaders and narcissism, the grandiosity, the charisma, the need for adoration and worship, because guess what? Again, he's second Christ, right? Like, not even second Christ, he is Christ. His words, not mine. The manipulation again, the exploitation, lack of empathy, boundary violations, intolerance of any disagreements or any criticism. Not doing any of that. In fact, it was a clip on there that showed someone in the community, I guess they're doing like a group meeting or whatever, and this woman says something to Jeff, and Jeff's like, "She's lying, you're a liar, you're a liar," like in front of everybody. Just told, like, very childlike, having a fit because she was calling him out on something. They cannot take rejection. They cannot take it. Won't take responsibility, won't take rejection. And I chuckle there because that is just, I just have empathy for people that lack insight and lack empathy for other people. It's not funny. It's, I guess that's a defense mechanism of my own, and I'm gonna own up to that, because for you not to be able to fully immerse in life and be considerate of others, that's rough. That's really rough, which is why it's a personality disorder. Now, the role of me, the benefit of me being a licensed therapist, so I have education, background, experience dealing with psychology, right? What this is, as well as being trained and continuously trained as a spiritual medium. I understand energy, especially spiritual abuse. And so that's why I created the conscious relationship mentoring sessions that I have right now, because I was seeing what was lacking, right, in the twin flame community. It's just fantasized, it's this and that. If you want to check out my playlist on the twin flame journey, you can check it out here. I want to educate people, okay? And relationship, like, people are struggling with relationships, their attachment styles, past traumas. Like, you being with people that are not professionally trained to heal this is a complete detriment to you. Complete detriment. You ask these people, like, where's your credentials? How do you know this? How are you in a place of power? How are you a thought leader? Okay, so-called thought leader. What put you in this position? Are you doing more harm or help for these people, right? I mean, we're human beings. We seek companionship. It's natural for us, right? But in order for us to be where we want to be, we have to look at what's back here, clean that up so we can be in a place of receiving what's for our highest best. Our highest best. So just be careful out there. Everyone that says they're a twin flame or they're a twin flame mentor, listen to their story and discern. Feel it here, okay? Or wherever you feel like your soul sits in your body, feel it there, and determine, I was gonna say discern, but determine whether or not what you're listening to is truth or not, or is it harmful, or is this cult-like behavior, okay? Especially for the vulnerable, the people that are desperately seeking for companionship. Oh, this twin flame thing sounds really great. All the twin flame journey is a journey of self-discovery, self-development, and self-healing. Self. I don't know how many times I can say that, but it's absolutely true. Physical separation is absolutely needed in order to heal if you choose to. Both energies have to be in alignment in order for union to come, okay? And if you are in tune with your spirituality, your own special gifts, you incorporate that, right, on your journey. You surrender and you find union within yourself first. No one can complete union for you. And that's the same for any type of relationship that you find yourself in, specifically intimate relationships with an intimate partner. We have to do the work, okay? So the resources that I have for you guys, the International Cult Studies Association, I'll list it down in the description as well. www.icsahome.com, and it's a directory that lists different licensed therapists that specialize in cult recovery therapy. Okay, I thought that was amazing. We also have Safe Passage Foundation, which is a nonprofit that helps people in cult or traumatic situations, but cult specifically. And last but not least, People Leave Cults. www.peopleleavecults.com, okay, for additional resources. Now, if you're here this long, give me a thumbs up for this video and consider subscribing. Comment down below, let me know what you liked about this video. Again, I wish I could have included the video clips, but I do not want a copyright strike. That just does not sound great for my channel. Also, I am doing some changes with Blossom and Rise. So if you're interested in joining my emailing list, please do. That link will be down below, because as changes emerge, my emailing list is going to hear it first, okay? Without further ado, thanks for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.